Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited. I'm going to try out the Nomad Haunted Europe palette. They are launching, what are they calling it? American Ghost Town or the Ghost Town palette, whatever they're calling it. That launches next week when I'm filming this, but this video will probably go up after, so it should be available, their newest one, when you're seeing this. I'm contemplating getting it. It's a little bit different color story than this. It has some greens and some oranges. It's a very neutral palette, but it's one of those things where I'm thinking about getting it because I didn't get this one and then regretted it later. And my subscriber friend Christine was kind enough to send this to me. So that's the only reason that I have this. So I'm thinking about getting it just because it's a decent color story. I think it's got the cool like holographic cover. It is their Halloween autumn collab for this year, and it probably will be limited edition. So I'm thinking about getting it just so that I don't have the same regrets that I had with this one. So yeah, if you want to see a look, I haven't done it yet. I don't think I'm gonna do anything super crazy, but I just want to test out some of the mattes and the shimmers and see the formula. So yeah, if you want to see what I do with this, and then just keep on watching. Also make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and let's jump into the video. Let's prime really quick. I'm going to use my Gerard clean canvas. I'm going to put my makeup is, I haven't sweated yet, but my makeup seems like it's holding up. Okay, so I'm just going to do, I might do both eyes at once just because I'm just trying this out. I'm not necessarily doing a tutorial, so I just want to see how I like it. This is one of those palettes that, because one of you guys sent it to me, I will keep it forever even if I didn't like it. But I hate's a strong word, but I dislike my Kylie and Nightmare on Elm Street palette because the green in there is awful. I need to use some of the reds to see if the rest of the palette is better, but that green is, I had a god awful time pulling out a look with that. And I was happy with the look that I did once I did it, but to get there was a struggle and a half. So my point is that even if I don't like this, because of the packaging, I would keep it more than likely, but because it was a gift, I tend to hold on to stuff. Like I have all the palettes that my husband has bought me, even if I don't use them anymore, and I will never get rid of them. So it's one of those kinds of things. Okay, so we're primed, and I do have also fun little side note. Squirrel, these are at the 99-cent store, so this is a Starbucks like knockoff, but they're pretty weighty. Like they're not super cheap feeling. They had orange, green, and purple for $2.99 at my 99-cent store. So if you like these kind of jeweled cups from Starbucks, go over there and pick one up. So okay, I primed. I have a color switch. I am going to use NYX glitter glue with the shimmer, I think is what I was going to say before I deviated. And I can't see the viewfinder really well, so if I don't look up a whole lot, I will apologize to you now. But I have my mirror here, so I am going to go in with some of the mauves and maybe this Brand Castle, the gray shade, and this, it says Black Forest, but that looks like navy almost. I'm going to go in with Ghost River, which is kind of a mauve-y shade, and then maybe Count Dracula, which is the brown, like the cooler brown. And we'll start there. I like that everything has little like Halloween embossings in it, and it looks like from the pictures that I've seen of the newest palette that there's some sort of imprint in the pans. I didn't look at the pictures super close. I was just kind of curious what the color story was going to be. Some of the shades look similar to what's in here, but it's definitely neutral heavy. I think because of the theming, like Ghost Town USA is very, you know, brown and deserty. So I don't hate the color story. It's very neutral, and the shimmers in it look nice. So Like I said, I probably will get it just because I don't want to have regrets. I need to see, hope if it's not going to be limited edition, it might just be something that I pick up later. If they don't say, I might get it sooner. We'll see. It seems like they're doing less limited edition. The last limited edition thing I think I saw from them was that little like 9-pan Christmas North Pole palette. So that's the mauve shade. It's pretty. I like it. Let's go in with a little bit of the, I think it's a brown. Like I said, it's the Count Dracula. It's the cooler because right below it is Spandu Citadel. And it's a warm, like browny orange color. So this is definitely cooler. I'm going to take this out in the outer corner all the way up. I might take I don't know that I want to use, I'm taking a little bit into the crease, but I'm keeping it low. I like that Ghost River shade and I like the tone of it. So I don't want to go in completely into the crease on top of what I just did. So I just kind of diagonally went down and like took some to kind of deepen it up closer towards the bottom, but not necessarily like take it all the way through the crease. Cause like I said, I'm just keeping it kind of low, and then I'll probably go back over with Ghost River just a little bit. Cause I really like this like pale mauve shades out of the Supernatural palette from the coffin shaped palettes. Lunatic Cosmetics. There was a shade in that palette that looked very much like that. That was one of my favorite shades in that palette. I have all those in my single, like I depotted them all. There is another brown in here called Drags Home Castle. Oh, I just realized, like the Catacombs, Boogeyman, they're all like, there's a lot of castle-y references. I never really looked at the shade names before. There is another brown in Dog's Home Castle that also is even more cooler than this one. This one was a little more mauve-y, which is kind of what I was hoping, because again, the Supernatural palette had a shade like this. And I just forget. I'm just going back in with the Count Dracula shade. I forget that I have those in with my singles. I just don't use them. I wasn't really using them before I depotted them, so I thought, you know, if I don't use them still, I'm not. But I won't get rid of them for some reason. I have all the like coffin packaging still. Like I have the Elvira and the Dracu. What is her name? Vampira. I have Elvira and Vampira, the palettes that they did, and then the heart-shaped one. So I could always put them back in. Just have to figure out what shades go where, because I didn't write the names on the back, because I'll be able to tell some of the shades from the Supernatural and the heart-shaped palette look very similar. So I went in with that. Do I want to go in with a little bit of the brown or just the black? Maybe the brown. We'll do the brown first. And I'm just keeping that towards the outer corner down here at the bottom. So I just took a little bit of Dog's Home out in the lower outer corner, and I'm gonna get a little pencil brush. This is some brand that I probably got from BoxyCharm, and I'm just concentrating it a little bit more. And then just down here in the outer V, and then I'm gonna go in with a hair. It says Black Forest. Is this black? Okay. I wanted to make sure if it wasn't black that it didn't read like, because it kind of looks navy in the pan. With the mauviness, I didn't necessarily want that to be blue. So just a little bit in the outer corner. It looks like it's a dark charcoal, not necessarily a black, which would be why it kind of looked blue. But I'm just over top of that brown that I put just in the outer V, and I'm not taking it up any higher. My nails are a little bit long. I felt like I stuck it in the gray. of brand Castle. And then on the lower lash line, this is a little bit fluffier of a pencil brush. This one's a little tighter packed. I think I'm gonna go in with Count Dracula, which was the kind of brown just out here. And then I've flipped it over and I'll put Ghost River over here. And then we'll do shimmer, and I'll probably put a little bit of a shimmer on the lower part down here. Just want to get a little bit of something, nothing crazy. Because like I said, this is kind of what I do when I'm trying a palette. I don't do anything like super crazy, just so I can see formula, because even though I've used palettes from other brands, there can be inconsistencies, or you know, like Nomad has done different shimmers, and then some people didn't like the mattes in their Valentine palette, so just kind of gives me an idea on formula too, without jumping in trying to do something complex, because that can be frustrating if you're trying to do something complex and the formula is not what you're expecting. It'll throw it off. So where I have glitter glue somewhere behind the palette, so I'm going to take some glitter glue, and I use glitter glue with every eyeshadow. So this isn't necessarily because I'm trying to help the shimmers. I mean, I am trying to help the shimmers, but I would be using this regardless, just because I think it gives more oomph. I have hooded eyes, so it kind of helps keep it in my eye without going up my crease. When I don't use a glitter glue, I kind of have to make sure I go in and take the shimmer up, because it will start to like transfer on its own. So it serves multiple purposes. And then it just will give you longevity out of the shimmer. So let's see, I have not decided which ones I'm gonna use. There's some really pretty like shimmers in here, especially like Highgate is very iridescent. This one, Hulabukai Forest. There's Krampus. Bloody Mary is pretty. I think I'm gonna go in with this one. I might try putting some of that in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of Bloody Mary. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of Krampus next to the champagne on the lid, kind of working through this in my head as we talk, and then Bloody Mary a little bit right here, and then we'll do the iridescent Highgate Cemetery in the inner corner. Okay. Same flat brush, I just take it in the color switch and clean off the excess glue. And I'm just, this is a really, really small brush, so I might need to come in with a bigger one so that I'm not here for an eternity, but might need to use a slightly larger, because I'm not seeing as much reflect, and I think it's just because that brush is so like it's picking up like it's picking up product, but it's putting it in such a concentrated precise area that I feel like this isn't looking at as reflective as it could, and I'm gonna go over it with my finger. That's pretty. I do like it. And we are, again, getting some more of the metallic. Okay, I'm gonna get a washcloth. I'm gonna go into the iridescent shade. Oh, that's pretty on top of that. We're gonna go with that because it wasn't as reflective as I wanted, but that's pretty. With that, I need to come in with the brush so that I can bring some in here. And then we'll put that, it looks like it's a very toppery shade, so that definitely added what I wanted to. And then we're gonna go into Krampus, which is like purpley color. I think that'll look nice coming in. I'm just using my finger with it to get a little bit over the champagne. Okay, so before this like sets on the other side, let's fill this in, because I totally spaced that I put down glitter glue on both sides. I'm going in with my finger a little bit, and then I'll go back with the brush. And I do like this color. It's just not quite as punchy. It's a more what some people would call like an everyday shimmer, but it is really pretty with the Highgate Cemetery on top. Like super, like if you're thinking the same thing I am and it's not as reflecty, put a little bit of that on there, because that elevates it. Because I was thinking I could put a little bit of Urban Decay Distortion, which is basically the Highgate Cemetery in like liquid glitter form, same tones. And then again with Krampus, I feel bad because going in with my finger, the Krampus had the spider web in it, and I'm disrupting the spider web. It's making me sad, but that's all right. I like that with what I got on the lids. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with Highgate Cemetery again, just by itself, and we're gonna put that in this inner corner part. Yeah, it's not super, doesn't do much on its own. It's definitely a toppery shade. I had some in my eye. I think I got it. But it is pretty. I might go in with a little bit of this is Dolce Perla. It's a highlighter I used on my face. A lot of times I'll do that if I don't have an inner corner shade. And then we'll put a little bit more of this. Okay, and then on the lower lash line, I was thinking of taking the Bloody Mary shade just on a pencil brush for some extra shimmer under there towards the front. And it's not, again, gonna look super metallic because I am putting this over the matte shadow, but I like the little pinkier tone that it gave. So let me throw something in my waterline. I'll do mascara and liner, and I'll show you everything at the very end. Bring in a smidgen more so you guys can really see. And I didn't put my glasses on so that you could also see better. I just did a black in my waterline. It's the Profusion, just the pencil liner. It says it's waterproof. It's not the blackest, which I think is fine. Because I think if it was super black, it'd probably look weird because I don't have black eyeshadow underneath. And then I just did a liquid liner. I did the Revolution one and a Farrah one. I'm trying to use up the Revolution. It was starting to, the tip was starting to dry out a little bit because of the shadow. I just did basic mascara, no lashes, because I'm going to put my glasses back on and I'm just going upstairs to make dinner. So I'm not going to put a lash on right now, but I like this palette. Everything worked really well. I will say that the iridescent Highgate Cemetery, I did get a little bit of like not really translucent, but like the holographic glitter, little micro flakes underneath. It did dust away, but just note that you might get a little bit of iridescent shimmer, that's the word, on your cheeks, depending on how you're using it. So just be aware of that. It looks like the green one might do it a little bit too, just because of the reflect that I'm seeing in it. But like, this isn't a crazy over the top look. It's a pretty, you know, basic mauve look. I do like the color story of this. I do like that you've got some oranges, there's golds, there's a bunch of neutral like tan and browns. You've got some shades to deepen things up. These can be used, this dark gray, the brown. You do have a dark green. I like the lighter mattes that are in here. This is all pretty mid-tone and deep. You don't have a super light shade, but you can bring in a smaller palette if you need to. So overall, first impression, I like it. I am very grateful that Christine was nice enough to send this to me. I will cherish it, and I like the formula, so that's nice. I had a pretty easy time. You saw it didn't take me long to get this look. Like I said, it's not anything super revolutionary, but it's pretty and I'm very happy with it and I like it. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. If you want to see me do some other looks with the palette, I set it off to the side. If you want to see some other looks with this, I could definitely do another one on camera. So let me know. Again, thank you guys so much. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye everybody.